There's a very specific kind of guy, and you already know this guy. You know, the raw eggs for breakfast, the cold plunge in that $50 kiddie pool that he calls his ice bath, that truck that's never hauled anything heavier than his own feelings. And this guy had a hero, a big, strong, powerful hero, 6'3", who looked him dead in the eye and said the whole world was rigged against him and that only he could unrig it. Well, that hero just got his report card back from the men of America. And fellas, are you bailing on him or what? A brand new Economist and YouGov poll just landed, and I've got to show you these numbers because you have to hear this for yourself. Donald Trump's approval with men just cratered to an all-time low. The net is minus 22, lower than any point in either of his two terms. And overall, he's at 36 approval, 60 disapproval. That is a net minus 24. Again, below his own record low number from his first term. That's below Biden's worst number. He is now polling under the very guy he has spent 4, 6, 8 years calling a corpse. And look at the words that people picked to describe him, unprompted, in this survey. 52% said that he was dangerous. 49% said he was corrupt. 45% said racist. That same 45% said he's out of touch. All of those true. And look, I do data analysis full time. I have stared at a lot of ugly numbers. Numbers that show a trend hanging on for dear life. And these numbers, sure, there's a pulse, but man, is that pulse fading. Because 52% now say that he is simply too old for the job. Just back in December, that was a coin flip. Now it's a majority. It is a small majority, but it counts. And 62% say that he does not care about the people like them. 62% going, yeah, that man would step over me just to get to a Big Mac. And those people are right. And YouGov, they polled a sample of 1,602 people, and yet Donald Trump ran his own numbers. And these numbers, totally scientifically based, where he polled someone, I guess. I don't know. Because last week, presumably with a straight face, he posted this. 59% approval rating, prices coming down along with the lowering of oil and gas. Thank you. 59%. No one on earth knows where the hell that number came from. Maybe he was using a real number, and if you think that, your best guess is maybe looking at the NPR Marist poll, and he read his disapproval number as his approval number. Like he held the poll upside down and saw the big number and says, "That's me, baby." And then he hit post. But honestly, if you're just going to make up your own damn numbers, why not be a little nicer to yourself than an approval rating of 52? And frankly, I think that's because Trump really has stopped caring, because he's got November in the bag no matter how the country votes. And I've got to ask you guys, especially for the guys that are kind of the tougher guys out there, the guys that might have bought in to Trump's tough guy brand, and maybe you're feeling a little burned right now. What was the exact moment that the Donald Trump Tough Guy Act stopped working on you? Drop it below. And remember, I was a Republican, and strength was a lot of the appeal. Hell, I recall visiting parts of Africa and running into plenty of people that loved Donald Trump and saw him as a good leader simply because he projected strength along the same lines as Vladimir Putin. But for you guys, and I'm guessing that you guys that are watching this channel weren't part of the so-called manosphere, which, by the way, I hate that name, manosphere. It sounds like, well, either the world's worst or, depending on your tastes, the world's best show at that big round venue in Vegas. 3 nights only. This place turns into the manosphere. And I've got to have a little ADHD moment here. I read this the other day. You ever stop to realize that it's raining men and let the bodies hit the floor are kind of the same song. Anyway, Donald Trump courted these men, the manosphere, hard. UFC walkouts, the 4-hour broadcast circuit, the whole I alone am strong, cologne commercial energy type crap. That Hegseth warrior ethos, baby! But that doesn't matter when the manosphere is pumping gas and looking at prices and going, I can't afford to fill up my giant truck. And then we've got a war that you promised would never happen. And by the way, there's that whole release the files thing. And these guys, the manosphere, are now going full alpha by leaving Donald Trump on red. Look, the Strongman Act, it only works until the strong men stop clapping. And well, frankly, I don't hear any more applause. Do me a favor, subscribe to our channel because I love quantifying exactly how much Donald Trump sucks.